Alright guys, how you doing? It's Rabea, hope you're all well. So, second installment for the Headrush Pedalboard. Did a bit of a first impressions overview of it whilst I was on tour. And now I've got it in my studio, and I thought I'd just take you through some of the cool things and we'll play with some sounds and build a patch. So having another chance to mess around with it at home, plugged into the interface, going into Logic, it's really good. I mean, there's so many things you can do with it and it's mega easy to use. In my overview, I created a riff patch that I liked and an ambient patch that I liked, both of which are in stereo, but I'll show you about how we build a patch and get it customized exactly how we want it so that this pedalboard can function really intuitively for live use. Of course, the Headrush is designed to be user-friendly, so the interface is very simple and sleek and easy to work with, but there are all the bells and whistles as well. You've got MIDI out, MIDI in, MIDI out and through, you've got sort of stereo outputs, XLR left and right, you've got the ability to have two external effects loops that you can control within the pedalboard, you've also got aux in, you've got just all that kind of stuff that's on the back, and it's very just straightforward, and you can access all that stuff if you go to globals. You see, if you go into globals, you can see we can change all the MIDI settings and stuff are in here. The pedal configuration, you can decide what you want this pedal to be. You can use it with a USB, plug it into your computer, you get an operating system, all that kind of stuff. So it's just, yeah, it's simple but effective. So if you can see on the GoPro, I've moved to a patch called New Patch Rabea, and essentially I'm going to show you some of the cool features that are accessible with the touch of a button. So firstly, I just want to show you the way the signal path works. Of course, you can see in here, out here, and then everything in between. So that's everything from your amp sim, your cab sim, your effects, stomp boxes, anything like that goes in this area. But the cool thing is, you see there's a little button here with 4 squares on it. If I hit it, it changes the kind of signal path layout that we can affect. So for instance, this one, guitar comes in, we can put stuff right in front, and then it splits off to 2 amps, so you can do the full-on stereo rig thing. That's what I was doing earlier. And then it splits back, and then it goes back into the overall, I suppose, post stereo part of your rig. And then, so if I just quickly go back to my stereo rig, you can see here that I've done this with my riffing tone. So I haven't got anything affecting both amps before it splits off, but you can see I've got 2 amps, reverb and echo, 2 cabs, overall graphic EQ, and my volume pedal, and I can do this kind of stuff. Which sounds wicked, and it's really cool because I can, as you can see, it's so simply laid out on the screen that I can just mess around and tweak things as and when I want. Okay, so what I want to do is build a patch so you can see just how easy it is to use. So I've set up a blank patch called New Patch Rabea, and on here I can then start to build stuff, and you can see just how intuitive the Headrush Pedalboard is. So firstly, I want to decide on my signal chain or my signal path. should I say. So as you can see on this window here, this is our current signal path. If I want to change it, there's a little button here with 4 little white blocks, and it changes the type of signal path we've got between these different ones. And you can have obviously a mono path, stereo path, you can do a wet dry wet thing. It's up to you. I'm going to go stereo because I really enjoy the way it works. So as you can see, we've got 3 slots available before we go stereo, and then 2 slots when we come back out. So I'm going to go and choose my stereo amp setup. So you click the button, then you go into your menu, and you can see we've got all these different amps to choose from. Now I like my cleans to be a bit glassy, a bit broken up, so I reckon I'm going to go with something like, let's go like a black face. So there we go, and then I'm going to do the same on the bottom row, so we've got dual amp setup going on. I'm going to do the same thing again. As you can see, it's loaded up 2 cab impulses there, so I'm going to see how it sounds real quick. Bit plinky, so I'm going to change the cab. I'm going to go with a 4x12 because I like a thicker, clean sound with a little more bottom end. And you can see I can change the microphones as well. We've got such a big list of microphones, as you can see. SM7, I suppose they're not, these are actually sort of replicas of those, but you got SM7, 57, you got ND421s, you got Condenser 67, obviously Neumann 87, Royer Ribbon. So that's really cool. I'm going to go with the Condenser 87. Much bigger, much thicker, which I like. What I do want to do though is between the amp and cab, I want to add my reverbs, because that would be between the amp and the cab on the Headrush is essentially like an effects loop within the signal chain. So I just need to click and drag these to this slot here, like so, and then just go in and add. Let's get reverb, and I'm going to go with air reverb, and then I'm going to go Hall. So one side, and then do the same on the other side, air reverb, but I'm going to try a different one here. I'm going to go with ambient. So there's quite a big difference there, but I can change all of this stuff. So as you can see on the right hand side, it's giving me the parameters of the reverb, but if I tap it, you can see it goes to different stuff. Or if I wanted to, I could go into a hands-free mode, which is amazing. All I have to do is click and hold, and it takes me to hands-free mode. So this would be if you're in the middle of a gig and you need to control the Headrush with your feet. It basically allows you to click whatever parameter you want to affect, so colour for example, and then it allows the expression pedal to control how much of that you want. So which is incredible. So I'm going to change the size. So it's sounding pretty good, but there's just a couple of things that I do want to affect, like for instance the in volume. I can affect how much gain is going in, and out how much gain is going out. So I would like there to be a little bit more going on here. And also it's worth pointing out that at the minute everything's pan central. This little button here that says mix, if I click it, it tells me all the effects of everything. It's like its own little control mixer for my 2 sides. So as you can see, side A is pan central, so I'm going to go ahead and pan that hard left, and then side B, I'm going to pan that hard right. So, and I can add a bit of sample delay between the 2. I just want to add literally 100 SAMs to that to make sure that I'm not going too crazy and getting out of phase problems. However, I can go ahead and change the level of each side, so I'm going to put these up to unity, get a bit more volley out of it. So far it's sounding pretty good, but there's a couple of things I want to add. So firstly, I'm going to put a compressor first in my chain. So if I go through to dynamics, you can see I've got different compressors. So obviously dynamic 3 compressor is like a Dynacomp, and I want that to maybe tight as I love that. Actually it's giving me quite a lot of more reverb, so I can move this to the back of the chain. Or I can put it sort of middle and then add something in front. Like let's give it a distortion, see what happens here. Let's have a bit of warm. So now that I've put the overdrive in front, I'm getting a little bit more sort of nice tones out of it. It's really starting to sound nice. Sounds brilliant to me. Really, really enjoy the way that sounds, to be fair. So now I'm going to get maybe a bit of overall EQ at the back. Let's go with a graphic EQ, just default, and then I can go in and actually affect the EQ. So I must admit, I am really impressed with the way the pedalboard sounds. It's just got really good quality sounds to it. It's high fidelity. I had a couple of questions, people asking me, how do you know when you've overloaded the DSP? And it simply just doesn't let you add any more effects to the signal path. But as you can see here, we've got quite a lot going on already, so I doubt you'll max it out, to be fair. Something else I want to point out really fast is assigning the actual hardware layout. So if we go to the three dots in the top right, it says hardware assign, and on here it gives you a menu of everything you can do with the actual buttons on the pedalboard. So for example, the two on the left are always sort of to navigate between rigs. So if you want to think of it like these four blocks, because then you've got looper and tempo, tap or tuner. So it's just these four blocks. So you've got 8 buttons that can control the amps and the effects and everything like that. Everything that's in the signal chain, once I press one of these buttons, it lists it all here. And as you can see, this is all the stuff we've got in the signal chain. Any of it I press, it then tells me, gives me another menu, which could be, say I want vibrato to be there. So like this, now it says amp to vibrato, and when I go back to my page, that's on and off, see? And it's giving me a label there to say, look, that's how we turn on vibrato. And also, it's really cool how you can assign the expression pedal to do 2 different functions, because this expression pedal, when you press all the way down, it'll click to be a second expression pedal. So as you can see, A and B. So for B, for example, I could then assign the expression pedal to be, let's say, the size of one of the reverbs. So if I go back out, firstly we're on A, this could be my volume. If I press it down, so there you go, and I just find that really, really handy. I mean, the whole pedals just says to me, this is just mega easy to use, because when you've got a touch screen that's nearly the size of an iPad mini, and it's all colour and easy, and the actual touch response is really nice, it's just like using anything else, like any other kind of iPad or iPhone. And to be honest, when you have a smooth operating system that's all touch-based, you can't really go wrong, to be honest. So that's where Headrush Pedalboard definitely wins for me. Of course, there's loads of other competition out there. As we all know, it looks similar to other products, but to be fair, you know, they've got a couple of nice touches, like the hands-free thing. They've done it in a very intuitive way. Really, really like that. And again, the OS, the operating system, so straightforward. Just being able to move stuff around wherever I want, you see? I can just drag it and just drop it wherever I want. And that might be basic stuff, but it's presented in such a way that really, really helps. So I've moved back onto the beer riff patch, just because I found that it sounded really nice with my Strat. mess around with some of the presets in the Headrush. I've just found one called Classic Rock. Let's have a listen. So obviously this is a preset, but I can go ahead and change whatever I want. You know, I can change the reverbs and the delays, and I can add more distortion if I want. So that sounds wicked, to be honest. If I want to save it, I can just hit save, and then I can say save new rig or save over. So if I go save new rig, it gives you like an iPad style keyboard, so you can type in beer hard rock. There you go. So that's saved. Let's see what else we got. Slow your roll. So add the chorus in there. The sound quality to me really is fantastic, you know, considering it's all built in. Of course, no pedalboard is really complete without its own tuner, which you can just hold for a tuner there. You get a nice big display to see how in tune you are. Of course, I'm a little bit out of tune, as per usual. Something else that's wicked is that you've got a looper, and in the looper you can see it splits things up into bars. So, I don't know, let's give it an example. So of course that was the weirdest loop ever, particularly because it's on a bench, so I can't use my foot. But the idea is that it's actually more flexible than most loopers. The fact you can speed it up, slow it down, select which half of the loop you want it to repeat. It's mad. It's so customizable. I want my expression pedal to do something different. So if you double click it, then you can change exactly what it does. I'm going to go with a whammy, why not, plus 2 octaves. Let's have a listen. That's amazing. Let's go below an octave. How about that? And again, just a good demonstration of how simple the Headrush pedalboard is to use. The Headrush pedalboard's £899, which I think's a fair price for what you get. It's extremely powerful. Of course, there is competition out there, but I think it's a very good price. And the thing is, the whole point of this is that you're not really meant to use anything else if you don't want to. Of course, it can go into a powered amplifier, a valve amp, whatever, to give you more valvey tones live, but this can go straight to a PA. The idea is that you take this to your gigs and you use this, and don't worry about the touch screen. It's incredibly durable. Of course, you can buy replacements for it if you break it, but it's mega sturdy. The whole thing's built to be gigged and toured, and I did go on tour with it and use it in backstage areas, and it got battered about a bit, and it's absolutely fine. It's an extremely powerful device. So I'll put all the links in the description box below so you can find out more information about it. Of course, if you want to buy one, go to andertonsmusic.co.uk and you can pick one up. But yeah, thanks to the guys at Headrush for sending the board across. I hope this video has been enjoyable. Recommend checking them out. Please like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you all very soon. The thing with this video is we're giving you like an overview with a few